This program is sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events.
The program is Conversation with Augustus, and today we are bringing you the part 2 of the interesting topic we started last week, Pentecostalism in the Catholic Church. And my guests are Mr. George Musa, who is a valuation and estate surveyor and a fellow of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. He is also a marriage counselor in the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra and one of the founders of Catholic Charismatic Renewal in the Archdiocese of Accra. And also my own dear brother and friend, Reverend Father Ebenezer Kofi Hansen, who happens to be the immediate past Youth and Vocations Director of the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra and now stationed at the Archbishop Andor Catechetical Center. I bring you the part 2 of this interesting topic, Pentecostalism in the Catholic Church. Do enjoy. But I would want to ask Father Hansen this very question. So sometimes you may say that some of the priests are supporting this in quotes. I don't know the word to use, so permit me to use the word in quotes. The vagabonds among the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. Some of the priests are supporting them to do this. Would you agree or disagree to that?
I agree. You see, many times the solution is that, the priests who have left us, so we are doing our own thing, like Moses on the mountain, and then Aaron down there and doing their own thing. But I can't say that. I can say also that there are many instances where the priests are with them and they are doing the same. What happened in Community 8 or whatever we are talking about in Tema and elsewhere in Accra? But there were priests around. There were priests around. And they will make reference to other priests. So if the priest who came to tell them, let's do it this way, let's do it that way, and they left, he was rather the evil one. But there was somebody with them. They had the presence of a priest. Okay, so I think that for me, the restructuring information will be, as I said, the clergy. Clergy means that right from the top, we must all make sure that we position ourselves very well to help them. And let me tell you, there are lots of them who are very good. Yes, but if they listen to a conservative priest, and they also think that there's another priest who is fueling them to do what is right, they will go by the one who is fueling them to do what is right, because it's synchronized with their spirit and what they feel. But until we all speak the same language, we'll have an issue. So yes, there are priests with them. We see some of them. If I've ever encountered priests who are also reading some of these books, or who are watching, not because they are watching to correct, but that is this. I look at what a priest does or says, and I can tell where the person comes from. I was told, and I still believe that whatever I was not asked to do, I was not taught in the seminar, I will not do. Okay. What my study information did not teach me, I won't do. In the seminar, we didn't teach us certain things. I won't come out and do it. Because what they taught me was on behalf of the Universal Church. So wherever I go, I can fit into their schemes. So I went to Cote d'Ivoire, as I said. I joined their Charismatic Renewal for their activities.
So, okay. Are you saying that you are for the books and what your formators and teaches you, that's the only thing you rely on? You don't go out of that?
It is, they set the parameters. There's always room for innovation and dynamic way of doing things. I have said that from the beginning, the renewal is not evil. I am part of them. But I think that we have become a bit sensational and emotional. And to reduce religion and devotion to emotions, I'm afraid. That is why I'm still working 100% to my full capacity, because I'm going by what the church gave me. But those who probably resorted to these expressions are struggling. Because those ones, you need people. But the priest, the Catholic Church has taught me that whether with or without people, I should serve. So when I'm with people, I also do what is right. When I'm without people, I'll do what is right. So we have been given the books. We have been taught the ideal right from the apostles' time. And the apostles had the manifestations. I have seen genuine manifestations, and I have seen, I won't say fake, but unauthorized manifestations. And I can, if I have to ask questions, you will see that we need discernment. That's all. As a seminarian, I observed, for instance, almost every ITI I attended, there were particular people who were falling all the time when it came to the time for the deliverance and all that. The very last one I attended, which was Legon, I observed that these ladies were always falling when it was time for ministration. So I had to, the last time I attended, when they fell, they went to sacristy and they came back, I engaged them in a kind of a counseling session. And I realized that what they needed most was counseling. Okay? But if nobody may help them to know that they will need counseling to better, to settle themselves with their families and all that, they will keep falling and to look at it is the Holy Spirit. Yes, the Holy Spirit to understand. But the Holy Spirit leads us as a counsel. It's a counsel, the Holy Spirit's counsel, to help them to come out of that situation. That's difficult, but it's not impossible. So we need to add science to faith. Science and faith go together. Otherwise, we will struggle. If you go only faith, we will struggle. If you go only science, we will struggle. There's a balance all the time. That is why even the word became flesh. The word became flesh. The word did not exist as only the word forever. It became flesh and dwelt amongst us. So we can touch. Otherwise, some will not be working very hard as a surveyor. Because he believes in the word, he could just be in his room and believe that he's serving the church, so everything should come. He's working very hard and even blessing the church more. You understand? So we have to work. We have to have faith also. So the day we will see that we are all in line, yes, that will come back to Catholic, Charismatic, Renewal. I'm talking about Ghana. I'm not making a universal statement. I'm talking about Ghana.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Musa.
Yeah, I have two reactions to what Father has said. First, I want to react on the state of the renewal in Ghana, and then the state, what our expectations of the clergy is and should be. I have a feeling that Father, as a result of his exposure to some of these incidents that he has recounted, may be having a negative view of the renewal, even though he is a member. And there's no problem with it. But if he seeks to apply it wholesale as to what is happening all over Ghana, with what he is seeing, then I beg to differ. In the sense that some of these excesses have been manifested in some prayer groups, but it is not all prayer groups that are manifesting the sort of things that he has recounted.
But he said,
and indeed,
he said that there have been instances, some of the manifestations were genuine and some were not.
Now, what I'm saying is that if you seek to create the impression that this is the state of the renewal in Ghana, that is what I do not agree. And Father may not be aware, but the renewal in Ghana is held in high esteem in Africa. Rome acknowledges it. At least we have had international leaders coming over African leaders, in fact, we gathered in Kumasi to structure how Charis, as directed by the Holy Father, should be. And the impressions that they brought about the state of the renewal in Ghana was excellent. Now, I admit that some of these problems are there. And as I have told you, as leaders, we keep working to make sure that we minimize the effect. In fact, you'll be surprised to know the type of crusade that some of us as leaders or past leaders or as elders in the Council of Elders are doing. I want to invite you to one of our meetings, Father Hansen, and you will see what we go through. So let me stop there and then address the issue of the clergy. In, I think it was about 1995, 1996, the SVDs invited me to meet their conferees at McCarthy Hill. And that was after the events of the breakup of the Legon Catholic Charismatic Renewal in 1994. There was a big crisis that led to the to the defection of a section of the Charismatic Renewal. And they wanted to learn more about the renewal, so I took them through as much as I could do in my capacity as a lay person. But at the end, I posed one challenge to them. And the challenge I posed to them was that if priests had been involved with this Legon group to the extent that some have been involved in other prayer groups, what happened at Legon would not have happened. And I made them aware that some of the priests, especially in those days, did not want to be associated with the renewal, lest they be labeled as so-called charismatic priests, and for which they wouldn't want to be comfortable, so they were staying out. And in staying out, you leave the groups to drift the way some of our groups have drifted. Right now, the biggest problem that we are having in the Accra Archdiocese and even countrywide, we don't have as many priests involved in the renewal as we did at the beginning. At the beginning of the renewal in Ghana, we had a lot of priests and then reverend sisters. Today, you come when we gather at a lot of our programs, you can only see one reverend sister there. You can count the number of priests who are there. But I have a feeling that even though our priests are busy, they have a lot of pastoral work. But this is also a section of the church that can be volatile if it is not guided. And I have always stressed that priests should stay close. We are not asking you to be members, but please be close to the extent that when you see things that are not going on well, you can correct them. So this is the reaction that I will have.
Maybe some of the priests are afraid. They don't want to be given Pastor Chris CD or Rhapsody also to read before they come to the sanctuary. So maybe that's why they are staying away from the Catholic Charismatic Renewal.
Yes, I agree. And that is why, in the beginning, I said that we've been doing a lot of work to re-conscientize some of the deviants among us. Because definitely, I would never endorse a situation where, Pastor Chris's CD is being given to a Catholic priest on his ordination. I mean, are you telling the priest to go and listen to Pastor Chris to be able to exercise his ministry? And again, this same problem that you're talking about in Community 8, are you aware that it was a Council of Elders who, together with the Archdiocesan service team, that helped to solve the problem? So We are proactive. When we see problems,
But
we
Mr.
don't
Musa,
sit down. We
you
move.
solved the problem, but at the end of the day, they will still break away. They left.
Yes, the breakaway comes because the people don't want to be corrected. They don't want to conform. So if that is the case, and I told you, we never ask people to go away. The church will never ask its members, but we cannot excommunicate. Excommunication is in the realm of the pastoral authorities. We will do as much as we could to be able to bring members into conformity. But if they say they will not conform, they are free. They leave, and then we have our peace. Right now, Community 8 is peaceful. There is no problem again.
So why is it that now we see some members of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal giving themselves titles like apostles, evangelists, and I realized someone addressing someone as an evangelist, and a priest said that, oh, the last evangelist we know died 2,000 years ago. And it seems like this is actually gaining grounds, especially with the Catholic Charismatic Renewal and some individuals in the church calling themselves or giving themselves titles like evangelists, apostles, or ministers and stuff like that.
Anyway, as I said, I beg to differ. And indeed, I've never heard any Catholic charismatic being addressed as an apostle. Maybe you might have heard it also, please let me know. But evangelist, perhaps it's because maybe the person is involved in evangelism. Teaching, because maybe the person is involved in teaching. But what I'm saying is that we do not use these titles to address our people, because we are in a church where these titles are not part of us. These titles are listed in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11, where Paul talks about some being called apostles, evangelists, teachers, pastors, and whatever, the fivefold ministry, as Paul lists them. And it is the charismatic and the Pentecostal churches who use these titles. We, as a hierarchical church, can not choose to begin to address ourselves with these titles. Maybe perhaps it is the ministry that people may be exercising, and which a few people may, out of ignorance, be tempted to be calling people by such title. I have never been addressed as a teacher, even though that has been the ministry that I've been exercising for over 40 years in the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. But nobody has ever used that title on me as a teacher. That is it. So maybe this is how I will react to it. I don't know what Father Hansen will say to this.
Okay, so Father Hansen, the ball is in your court.
Yeah, so before I go on with this, let me just chip in a word in view of the earlier submission of Mr. Musa in his first reaction. I think we are on the same page, actually. And I made it clear that the renewal is not evil. I made it clear that there are many good people in the renewal who are doing what is right, and they seek counsel. So I don't want to look as if Father Hansen is anti renewal.
Okay, thank you, Father. Thank you.
I am, but you see, you can only be part of the problem and help to solve it. If you're not part of the problem, you can't be helped to solve it. And just to say something also that in, I think, 2017, the former Archbishop was so worried about appointing somebody to go to Kuntunsi. I went to his office. Then he was even thinking of sending me to Burkina Faso to work there. But I think in his utter astonishment, I don't put this way, or disappointment, he asked me if I wouldn't mind going to Kuntunsi, the renewal. I said, oh, for me, I have no problem. I'll go. If only I'll be accepted, I'll go. I used to host the youth ministry. I used to host them at the center, and they will tell you how I was with them every moment, as I would do for all the other groups that would come to the center. What I want to say is that, ironically, as of now, we don't have anybody posted there. We have many priests who are manifesting the renewal sentiment or the charism. So it's only an irony that in the abundance of manifestations, there's somebody there, and one who seems to be so let's say that, like Musa said also, we as priests need to work hard. We need to work very hard to make sure that this challenge is resolved. And there are many things underground, actually. And it is normal for a leader, you'll be out there unless somebody below gives you a clear picture. So like I said about community, my issue, I saw it happening many years ago. I mentioned it, but probably it was not taken as a serious thing until it happened. When there are problems and we don't really assess them to the right channels or the right authorities, as Musa said, there will always be a backlash. Then they are only called in because it has degenerated into something worse. But if we priests are there and we observe and we try to help, at that initial stages, they will correct it. I 100% support Mr. Musa. There are many unofficial usage of titles in the church. Yes. As a Catholic priest, people meet me and say, Papa. I say, I don't want to hear that. But Papa means Father. You see, why am I saying I don't want to hear that? It is because some people are using it who are not Catholics. And I don't think I should use myself to such a title. Okay. I am Reverend Father. If you want to call me Infante or Chi, you say Sofo. So once somebody or a church has designated this title to their members or for the members to use, I wouldn't want to use it. Okay. Maybe others may enjoy it when they are called Papa. But the Pope is Papa. The Pope is Father. So as a Catholic priest, I will not accept when I'm called Father. But they will not say Reverend Papa. They will not say Reverend Papa. They will say, okay, it is. No. But Father, Papa is Holy Father in the Catholic Church. So yes, individuals are having names, using titles here and there. It is unofficial. It is unofficial. However, I know that in the Catholic Church, there are people who are using such titles. For instance, we have the Sacred Heart Confraternity. They have the young apostles. Okay, the young apostles of the Sacred Heart Confraternity. Before you are conferred, you have that title conferred on you, you will have passed through a ritual, an initiation, you get there. So if the renewal leadership have not conferred any subtitles on anybody, it means the person has not gone through any formation to be initiated into such a title. And they will do that also in consultation with the higher authority. Once the higher authority accepts it, there's no problem.
Thank you so much. Mr. Musa, we are about running up, but let me ask you, are you planning of actually speaking to the higher body to allow Catholic Charismatic Renewal start giving your members such titles like preachers, apostles, evangelists?
For what purpose? No, it is just the exercise of a ministry. You see, we are human. And the moment we seek to elevate ourselves beyond a certain level, especially with titles, it creates problems for us. Now, as I told you, we operate within a church structure. And that structure does not admit of these titles. And I will keep on emphasizing that it is a ministry of evangelism, a ministry of prophecy, a ministry of pastoring, a ministry of teaching that people are exercising in the renewal. But that does not make them take titles as apostle, as evangelist, and so on. So this is the Holy Roman Catholic Church. We are nothing more than that.
So I've come to to the understanding that Pentecostalism itself is not bad. It has been with the church even before the church began. As Father Hansen made mention of the Annunciation story, you also made reference to one of the biblical statements. But I would want to ask, so in all this, if Pentecostalism is not bad, then what is the way forward? Mr. Musa.
The way forward is one. You see, our bishops have already set the pace. You know, I believe you are aware that at their May meetings, when they meet in May for their budget hearing, they meet, at the end of that meeting, they meet with the Christian Council. And it is an ecumenical relationship that they are building. And my suggestion is that the same should be extended to the Charismatic and the Pentecostal churches. In fact, indeed, in preparing for this talk, I spoke with one of our bishops this morning, and he said there's no such formal relationship with the Charismatic and the Pentecostal churches. So that is what I believe we must do. Then secondly, the Pope has indicated, or the Pope has encouraged parishes to open themselves to the running of Life in the Spirit seminars. Now, this Life in the Spirit seminar is a preparatory, it's a 9-week program leading to the praying over for the release of the gift of the Spirit that we received in baptism and confirmation. Now, that program eventually brings one into an encounter with Jesus Christ, and that leads to the experiential aspect of our faith. Now, through this, a lot of what is happening in the Pentecostal churches also become part of our experience as Catholics. I understand a lot of what is happening in Pentecostalism, all because of the Life in the Spirit seminars. And I would, just as the Holy Father has said, encourage people to go through the Life in the Spirit seminar so that through it, they will come to an appreciation of what Pentecostalism is. Then I will also encourage Catholics to read their history. But when you read church history, you will come to realize how much the church was founded in Pentecostalism, and then especially the evolution of the church throughout the centuries, the development of its teachings and doctrines and so on and so forth. By that means, one will get a better appreciation of what the Catholic Church is and what the Catholic Church is offering. And from that angle, you will not be rushing to go and take what the Pentecostals are offering, because it is already right within Catholicism. And we are even higher than them, because we are sacramental in nature, celebrating 7 sacraments. But the Pentecostals only have 2 sacraments, baptism and the Lord's Supper. But we are really manifesting the gospel, like Father Campbell would say, we are the full gospel, you know, in the Catholic Church. So as Catholics become more aware of what the Holy Spirit is through the Life in the Spirit seminars, we will, we will open ourselves to the manifestations and the working of the Holy Spirit. It will deepen our faith. It will make us eager to want to find out what the church has, appropriate them, and before we are aware, people will be flocking to the Catholic Church, as it is happening in the United States and other countries. I believe you might have been listening to EWTN and their program, The Journey Home, how Charismatics and Pentecostals and Protestants are coming back to the Catholic Church as they begin to discover what the church is, its history, its teachings, its doctrine. So that is what I would say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Musa. And Father Hansen.
Yes.
So now the way forward for us, Pentecostalism is not bad. It's a good thing. So how should we move?
So I will still go back. You made reference to Pentecostalism what I said concerning the Annunciation. I didn't say it was Pentecostalism. I said the Holy Spirit has been there. Look at the phenomenon and a reality. Okay. So we look at the Charismatic Renewal as now officially being a manifestation in the church. As Mr. Moses said, it dates as far back as 1967. Okay. But before then, the Holy Spirit was still working through many people in different ways, similar to what we're having today. But we now have a formal name, if you like, for what we have. So one, the renewal has come to stay. Whether we like it or not, it has come to stay. Because the Holy Spirit is always with us. So that much we should all bear in mind. Two, the staying of the renewal comes with responsibilities. And that's what Mr. Musa has outlined. Okay. If we know, I think the challenge we have is orthodoxy. Orthodoxy. How authentic is the teachings out there? That people would know the truth and come back to the church. And I'll say Ghana. Today, it's like many Catholics are rather turning towards the Pentecostals than they will turn to us. You understand? Because you haven't given the sound doctrines we have to them. We haven't given them. So what is available is what they are making reference to. All the surveys we conducted some years ago showed that the core problem we have in the church, not only because of Pentecostalism, but issues about the youth, issues about the faith and all that, it is about lack of sound doctrine. And so if we will really put our feet together to teach the right doctrine, that is to teach, to doctor is to teach actually. So the word from to doctor, that is to teach. So if you have the right teaching, people will come back into the church, more fortified, more refined. So the way forward is teaching. The way forward is the right teaching. How do we do our things? So that it will set us apart from the others. But if you are selling the same products the same way, of course, anybody will feel like being wherever it is okay. But they all know that the right teaching is in the Catholic Church. So to say that, oh, now it be evangelization, so we have to go and be like them. No, they must be like us. Because they are now, they have picked what we used to do. And we are now picking what they are doing, they used to do. I have seen the renewal, I think in January now, as a practice in Accra at least, I know that they go for an outreach. It's a beautiful program. They go on an outreach for some days. And that is evangelization. That is the work of the renewal. The Holy Spirit is at the work in them. That is perfect. You understand? But as they go along, we do have the true message as revealed by the Holy Spirit in the church. That is the issue. So the way forward is that the Catholic Church should come, put structures together to help these people who have the desire and the passion for the Lord to manifest the true spirituality of the church in view of that. That is for me what it is. Because I know that ideally the renewal is supposed to penetrate through every society. So for instance, St. Anthony's Guild is collapsing. In Accra, I will talk about Accra. Elsewhere, I know it's very popular. But part of Accra, it is not as strong as before. We need a renewal. Anthony was on earth, was working through the power of the Holy Spirit. So, for instance, the renewal, no, let us try and revive the devotion to St. Anthony. Let's try to be latest, who are very up to the times. The renewal should be able to inspire them because they are really spirit. Tomorrow, the renewal service, the Holy Spirit will inspire them to do it right. You understand? But when we keep it as though it's another society, that's where the challenge comes. But who can hold air? The wind blows, oxygen, it blows everywhere. So the Holy Spirit is supposed to flow through the whole church. But we need formation. We need formation. That is the most important. when there's proper formation, all these challenges will come to an end.
For the past 2 weeks now, we've been looking at Pentecostalism in the Catholic Church. Another time we'll bring you the benefits of Pentecostalism in the Catholic Church, or maybe the benefit of Catholic Charismatic Renewal would actually have people on board to share their benefit, what they've gotten so far from the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. And my guests have been Mr. George Musa, who is a marriage counselor in the Archdiocese of Accra, a founding member of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal in the Archdiocese of Accra, and also he is an evaluation and estate surveyor and a fellow of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, and my own brother and friend, Reverend Father Ebenezer Kofi Hansen, who happens to be the immediate past youth and vocations director of the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra, now stationed at the Archbishop Ando Katikatika Center. Please do leave your comments below and also like, share this very program and subscribe to it. Don't forget to click the bell so that anytime we post new videos, you would actually have it. My name is Augustus Akins, and thank you so much for watching. Adios.
This program was sponsored by Safe Life Experience Consult Limited. Contact them for all your travel and tour needs, as well as your events.